if you don't have to get it audited, you definitely need an accountant. Because the accountant, a proper chartered accountant, will prepare your end of the year financial statements. You asked about the key differences between an accountant and an auditor. An accountant, they will prepare the reports. The accountant prepares management financial reports every month, okay, including the payroll and all that. Even the financial statements and all that. Now, an auditor, they will review these financial statements independently, and then they will express an opinion. That's their role. An accountant is hired by you, the business owner. The auditor, technically, is hired by the shareholders.
Small business owners often face challenges in order for them to grow. It is not easy for an individual out there to get a proper advice, and even so they are advices, it might either be the wrong one or the one without proper hands-on experience on the field itself. Hi, I'm Humaira from Accounting Superhero. Me and my team handle sales and client success work for our clients both in Malaysia and in Singapore. Every week, I will book a one-to-one session with Mr. Faz, who is my boss, for me to get a bit of mentoring from him for me to perform better in my role. Join me as I go through various topics with him relevant to business owners like yourself who are keen to grow and go to the next level. But before that, I would like to just put a bit of a disclaimer in which whatever will be shared by Mr. Faz will be based on his real-life experience as a chartered accountant in the industry for more than 20 years. Just so you know, Mr. Faz is a no bullshit kind of person. You ready? Let's go. Hi, Mr. Faz.
Hi Humaira,
How are you? Good.
Together.
Sama-sama. Baju pun dah sama.
Sudah, insyaAllah.
Can. Alright. So today I come to you just to know, of course, to know something new lah every time. So I come today because I want to know more about audit.
Okay.
Because accounts, I think most businesses know what it is about. For a company accounts, it needs to be on track and ready. Best to be ready at all times, just so that if anything were to happen, they have it ready and they know their current status of the business, how it's doing and all lah.
Betul.
But audit, it's like another, I don't know if it can be said as another extension, but it's another scope that some companies need to do lah. Like, some business owners might not know when they need to be audited, what are the criteria, and why are audit compulsory. So today I see you just to know more about this lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good questions actually. Alhamdulillah. Okay, maybe we start a little bit about audit and accounting lah. Two different things lah. Okay. Before I go into details, just to understand a little bit there is a sequence of things that happen though. In the first thing that has to be done is this thing called bookkeeping. Okay?
Bookkeeping.
So every business must keep their books. So they must bookkeep. Meaning they should raise invoices. And when the client pays, they should record the payment to the invoice. Okay, so it's traced, right? The money goes into the bank, it's banked in, and then whatever money which you spend out, there is a check you issue out, or there's an online payment which you issue out, and all of these are traced to the vendor invoice. So this is the bookkeeping stage. From the bookkeeping stage, then goes into the accounting stage. In the past, traditionally, accountants would take all these documents, then they would do up the book, they would do up the accounts. In the current state of things, nowadays, it's a lot more modernized. We do bookkeeping and accounting into almost one seamless transaction. So what happened is, like for us in Accounting Superhero, our clients get onto Zero, they do the bookkeeping inside there. We will go into Zero to close up the books, meaning reconciliation, schedules, and review it, make sure it's all accurate, done up properly lah. So that's the accounting stage. So then the reports which are generated, we can rely on it lah, that this is correct. Okay, so that's accounting, right? So it's to give reports which management can use.
Management of the company.
of the business. Yes.
The business, okay.
So when they look at the report, say, oh, we're making a profit, or we're not making a profit, or this is our cash flow, or not, then they can think of what to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a basis of decision making, right? Audit is is actually a different matter. Audit is expressing an opinion by an accountant, okay, and this is an independent accountant, okay, to look at the accounts prepared by the management and give an opinion whether these numbers are true and fair.
Oh.
Okay, and they can be relied upon by the shareholders. Okay, so this criteria and all that is set by a standards body. So there is an accounting standards body that states that the accounts must be done up to a certain level, right? Must follow the standards. Then the auditors will check it to make sure that this is done properly. You know, it is not done in such a way that to make the numbers look good unnecessarily. You know, right? They're not doing something wrong to evade taxes or things like that. There's no wrong practices done. There's no fraud. So the auditors just express an opinion. So naturally, an auditor must be an expert accountant. Okay, so typically an independent good auditor will have many years of experience in accounting first.
Yeah.
So they know the silok below and everything lah. So when they are doing audit, they not just follow the audit program and they just do the audit, but they will have their junior staff to do it. They will also rely on internal controls and estimates, and also their their assessment of the risks in the company. So that is what the auditor does. From there, then they express an opinion. Why is their opinion so important? Is because when their opinion is attached to the financial statement. So when the accounts are audited, then financial statements will be prepared. So this again is done in a financial report kind of way. It's very standard around the world. It's not the same, but their auditors report with their opinion will be inside there as well, and then they will see certain things lah, whether or not, number one, is a clean report means everything here is okay. There's nothing here which that they need to worry about lah. So that is a clean report. That is what every business owner, if you have to be audited, that is what you should want lah, you aspire to get. Because when they say everything here is okay, you can believe an independent auditor, right? The auditor has nothing to do with the company, no? They're independent, right? So their opinion says it's good, it's okay, everything's alright. Then you have the confidence that these numbers are good. So who needs to know all these things? Usually it's other partners, like banks, like partners who want to join venture with them, you know, or government who want to issue out grants. So they rely on auditors to give their opinion as to whether the numbers are okay.
I see.
Now, an auditor can also say that they think that basically it's okay, except for one or two things. So that one already not so nice.
Oh, we
Okay.
want
Totally clean.
clean kan? Okay.
But if we don't get totally clean, the next level down is except for one or two things, everything else is okay. So that is a blemish lah. Okay. Next one, they could say that we could not do the audit to the full extent that we want to do. So there is a limitation of scope or something like that, right? So because of that, we cannot express an opinion or something like that. So these are really not so very, very not so good. Really. Next stage, even worse, you know, they can say that we are unable to form an opinion. So they disclaim the opinion.
Yeah,
It's
that one's
economics lah.
totally.
So they open the accounts, they see, alamak, this one cannot lah.
I see.
Cannot make it lah. Okay. So they try to do some other things, but also still cannot. Then they say we disclaim our opinion.
Meaning they defer to do the audit, is it? Sort of.
They say that they cannot. They say that they do not issue out an opinion.
Oh, safe word, safe sentence lah, sort of. But those who know will know lah what.
It's bad lah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if that case happen kan, is there like a countermeasure on what company needs to do? They need to correct their accounts first. Is it? Is that the way or?
Okay. They can try. They can try. But usually it's more on corrective action in the future lah. Yeah.
Understand.
Unless they submit to income tax and income tax say we draw your attention to this paragraph by your auditors which states this. Please go and correct your numbers
I see.
and resubmit your tax. That can happen also.
Oh,
If you don't do this, we will come and audit you.
lagi lah.
So you better
That-
go and do it lah. Okay. So that can happen as well.
So they sort of still like a chance to correct things before the action is taken on them.
Correct.
Okay. And I just have a side question. Bookkeeper and accountant, they are two different role ke, is it?
Yes. So bookkeeper is the person usually in the business, in the company.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be an accounting person. It can be an administrative person.
As long as know how to input ins and outs, that's sufficient.
Correct, correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And generally they know, invoice requires a few things, right? And then payment should be allocated where you can learn these things. It's actually very simple. Just to slight insertion. At Accounting Bureau, we do this bookkeeping made easy course 2 times a year. It's 16 hours of really sit down and our staff will go through with business owners and their finance staff lah. Teach them how to use Xero purely for bookkeeping until it's perfect. So it's something which I think every business owner should know what to do lah. Right. So that's the bookkeeping part. Very, very basic but very, very important.
Betul.
If the bookkeeping is done properly, the accounting part will be very easy. And you don't have to redo things, so it doesn't have to be expensive. So accounting is usually done by a trained professional accountant lah. So if you cannot hire one, which I would say SMEs don't hire an accountant lah. Outsource it. Go and get a professional accounting firm to do this part for them. Because they can just do it in 2 hours or 3 hours a month, enough free. They just pay some amount for that is sufficient, inshallah. Right? You don't have to hire a full timer. That's too much of a cost. Yeah.
And hiring outsourced accountants, somewhat like you don't have to worry much because they are surely trained person to do accounts.
So,
also.
okay, when you ask me this, right, I have to answer you the not politically correct, but the real answer lah. Okay, when you send your car to the workshop, you want someone who really can solve the problem. Correct or not?
Yep.
Not create more problem for you. From one problem become 6, 7, 8 problem. And you also don't want someone who will go and tipu you lah, who will go and cheat you, and it cause you some other problem. Your tire no problem, so they will make one hole for you. Correct or not? So what I'm trying to say is, when you look for an accountant, if at best go and get a professional firm to do for you, because they are doing this as a business. They hire professionals. They are invested in what they do. And the company that you hire must be a registered accounting firm in Singapore or in Malaysia. It must be properly registered. So especially in Malaysia, you can search for their names in the MIA website or the MICP website. So an audit firm will have your name there. A non-audit firm also will have their name there. So if you go to MIA website, right, the Malaysian Institute of Accountants, you can search. So their company name will be there. So you know that you're getting a professional to do it.
It's publicly available.
Publicly available. So this is very important. If you don't hire the right company, you take someone who has been doing freelance for 10 years. Yes, they have the experience. But please understand, the moment something goes wrong, they will be the first to leave. Right?
Yeah.
Because they won't want to bother lah. First of all, they also might charge you lesser also. Right? They also might, it's just a freelance thing for them. But if you hire the right company to do, right, maybe slightly more expensive, slightly perhaps, but you get a professional. They will do it for you to a very reasonable or high degree of excellence. And you know for sure that you're not going to be cheated lah. So this part to me is very important lah. Right? Now, you asked about the key differences between an accountant and an auditor. I guess now I can go into it a bit deeper lah. Okay, so an accountant, they will prepare the reports. So remember the bookkeeper prepare the books, right? The accountant prepares management financial reports every month. Okay, including the payroll and all that lah. Okay, even the financial statements and all that. Now there's new regulations. An accountant can only prepare the compliance, which is the financial statements at the end, but they have to be proper accountants lah. So like what I mentioned just now. Okay, those with experience, they can do it lah. They know what to do.
This podcast has been brought to you by Accounting Superhero, your trusted zero and SME compliance partner in Singapore and Malaysia. Switch up to Accounting Superhero today.
Now, an auditor, they will review these financial statements independently, and then they will express an opinion. That's their role. Okay, an accountant is hired by you, the business owner. You hire them. The auditor technically is hired by the shareholders, because when I say the accountant can be hired by you, the business owner, or rather even the directors of the company, but the shareholders are the one who want to make sure the directors are running everything properly. So they are the ones who decide on who is the auditor.
Because they put money in.
Yes, their capital is invested. So if you want to go a bit deeper, at every AGM, it's the shareholders who will confirm the appointment of so and so auditors and to confirm the remuneration. So it's that serious lah, right?
So it means remuneration by shareholder also?
Yes, usually yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
most cases are. Okay.
Yeah. Although sometimes they might just stick to the appointment part, right? But they can just say, okay, we will let the directors decide on the remuneration.
Oh,
That's also fine.
okay.
But at the very least, the appointment must be done. Yeah, by the shareholders. An accountant is involved a lot, like every month or every 2 weeks or every week in the company. Even if it's a outsourced professional firm like ours, we have touch points every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every year. But auditors, they only come in once a year. So when the books are completed or about to be completed, then they will come in, have a look, then they will say, okay, when you complete this part, we will start our job. So auditors is usually once a year. They finish the job in 3 months or 4 months, and then everything is completed already. Okay. So it's for a certain period. Usually big companies, when they get audited, usually during that time is the time where they're the most stressful. So
Yeah.
because auditors are here, then they need to make sure there's a space for them. So they'll be asking a lot of questions, So yeah, that's where usually finance departments are running a bit on stress, right? Output between these two persons. An accountant will prepare management accounts. They will prepare tax filings. They will prepare your zero or online accounting entries, just to complete everything up. They will do reconciliations, things like that. An auditor doesn't do that. They will prepare the audit report, the opinion report. And sometimes because financial statements really need to be done by a proper accountant, by a proper chartered accountant, not by just anyone. Usually the auditors will come in, they will lend a hand to help get these financial statements done properly. So there's things like notes to the financial statements and all that, which they are in the best position to help. So either they do it lock, stock and barrel, or they get the accountant to do certain parts and then they will complete it for them.
Okay.
So think of the accountant as your internal financial partner. But the auditor is the external checker. Someone who comes in from outside, independent, they check.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are the key differences between the two roles,
Yep.
accountant and auditor. Can. Okay, so talking about being audited, what are the requirements that make companies or business owners need to be audited? Because companies don't just do audit without any reason, right? So there must be a requirement or criteria that make them needs to be audited.
You're right. So this is more on the legal requirements. So let's look at it from Singapore and Malaysia perspective. So in Singapore, companies are regulated by ACRA, right? The Accounting and Corporate Regulatory Authority of Singapore, ACRA. So ACRA states that you can be exempt from audit if your company is a small company.
Small company.
So they define small company as you meeting any 2 out of 3 criteria, which I will mention, in the 2 past consecutive years. Okay, so last 2 years lah. So if in the last 2 years your revenue is below $10 million Singapore dollars, okay, or your total assets is less than $10 million, or you have less than 50 employees, you meet any 2 of these 3, you are a small company. So you can be exempt.
Even 1 million small company
Small
1
company,
million
yes.
is big for me, but business owners
Yeah.
okay dah,
So
can.
it's 10 million, right?
Mm.
And then yeah, so this is the main thing lah. In Singapore, this is the rule. In Malaysia, right, for Sdn Bhd companies, actually all companies must appoint an auditor. So the question is whether you qualify for audit exemptions. So importantly, must appoint an auditor. Okay. So in Malaysia, right, even if you are a dormant company or you make loss, you still have to be audited, right? But you can get audit exemptions if your company was dormant, if your company had zero revenue,
Zero revenue.
but it wasn't dormant, so maybe there were certain expenses, so it's not totally dormant. So zero revenue, okay, or you have certain threshold which you qualify. For example, revenue is below 100,000 ringgit.
Okay.
Okay, your total assets is lesser than 300,000 ringgit. Then you are exempt from audit. Do take note, this is based on the rules now. The rules will be changing. We know about it already now. The revenue will be increased. The revenue threshold will be increased lah. From 100,000, it will increase to 1 million ringgit.
1 million, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then also there are some more changes to be expected lah. So what this means basically essentially is that if your company in Malaysia still needs to appoint an auditor. Okay. However, if you meet the threshold requirements, or you're dormant or you have zero revenue, it can be exempt lah. Right? So you can avoid getting audited. Okay. Now, the key thing here is, what is exemption? Okay. So exemption doesn't mean, okay, enjoy,
Happy
no need to do anything. Okay.
Auditor doesn't come out.
It's not that, okay. So the point I'm trying to make here is, if you're exempted from audit, it purely means the auditor doesn't have to issue
Advice, is it just now?
the opinion.
Opinion, okay.
Yes.
Opinion.
So that's it. Okay. However, the other statements that is required at the end of the year, the financial statements, still needs to be done. It has to be done in accordance with the financial reporting standards of Malaysia and of Singapore. Depends on where your country, the country of domicile for your company lah.
Yeah.
So you have to follow the standards. So who can follow the standards? A proper chartered accountant.
Chartered accountant, correct.
So don't just anyhow, okay, audit accountant, and then don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
Don't need to bookkeep, never do monthly accounts, don't need to do financial statements. No, okay.
Not, yeah.
Everything still has to be done. It's just that instead of getting an auditor to prepare the audited accounts, it can be unaudited. So financial
Unaudited.
statements. Yeah, unaudited financial statements in place of audited financial statements with the opinion. That's it. Okay.
Okay.
Now, what it means to you as business owner is that if you get an auditor to do that final part, right? Of course, the fees are all regulated by the industry in Singapore and Malaysia both. So maybe they charge you 3,000, maybe they charge you 12,000 or 20,000. You don't have to pay this lah. But you still have to pay a lesser amount to prepare the unaudited version, the one without the opinion.
Without the audit opinion.
Yes, and usually it is significantly less lah. Yeah.
Understand. I think it's important to know, though your company is dormant or have zero revenue, things still needs to be filed at the end because it's part of the obligation you need to do as a business owner, as a registered company in Singapore or Malaysia lah. I think that's an important point to note. And yeah, as per you mentioned, your exemptions are, though companies are exempted, still need to have the other things on track lah. The unaudited part.
Unaudited financial statements, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can. Right. So you've touched on the requirement of a company to be audited. So we talk about accountants, auditor. So can I just know when is the right time for companies to hire an auditor and not just depend on their current accountants that they have?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so before I can jump into the auditor part, let's talk about the accountant part. Okay, to confirm that you need an accountant, then you can go to the part where you need an auditor. Okay, because it follows the sequence lah. Okay, so when you need an accountant, you need an accountant if you are exempted from audit
Okay.
in Singapore or in Malaysia. If you don't have to get it audited, you definitely need an accountant. Because the accountant, a proper chartered accountant, will prepare your end of the year financial statements. That's one. Second one is you need an accountant if your monthly bookkeeping is done, but you need help to close it, to finish up, to make sure the reconciliation is done, the reports are generated and all that, and it's proper. Depreciation is done, schedules are done. You need your payroll to be done, your GST, your SST filing to be done, your corporate income tax at the end of the year to be calculated, and to prepare a proper management accounts, not unaudited financial statements yet, but at least proper management accounts, just for internal decision making, or for you to apply loans and things like that. So this, at the very least, for these reasons, you need a good accountant. Okay, but on top of that, you need an auditor when you are legally required to file the audited financial statements, meaning you're not exempted. So if you're not exempted, you make sure you must have a auditor lah. You need to hire an auditor, right?
Okay.
And sometimes when you are applying for very large loan, 1 million and above, or you're going for investor funding, government grants, certain government licenses, which are very high level licenses, you need to get it audited. So you need to hire an auditor. Okay, if your company is doing very big business and you're preparing for IPO, initial public offering, you're getting there already, or you are in the process of getting someone to buy over your business, or you want to buy somebody else's business, for example, get an auditor as well. Maybe another scenario, if you're thinking of actually expanding into another country, before you want to go there, you want to prove to that government there that you are doing legitimate business in this country here, get an audited financial statements to prove to the other country that you are doing everything proper, and last but not least is when your shareholders, they need more assurance. Your shareholders are usually those who pump in capital into your business. There are also other stakeholders like your bankers, your funders. Sometimes they give you a very big amount. Every 3 months or 6 months, they will ask for
They want to
management
know
accounts.
yeah.
They want to ask for audited accounts. They want to see that you're still okay, So you need to have an auditor as well.
See.
Yeah.
Can.
If you are a business owner seeking professional guidance from Mr. Faz, feel free to scan the QR code attached below or using the contact details provided in the caption below.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so these are the situations that make companies need to have not just accountants but auditors lah. So earlier, just before you share this part, you shared about the requirements of companies when they need to be audited. So other than the requirement that you shared, is there any other additional triggers that make additional triggers that make a company needs to be audited other than the earlier part?
Yes. So I would say these are certain real world triggers that you might need to get your books audited. Meaning you reach the bridge, you must cross it lah. So things like your annual revenue is crossing the threshold. So in Singapore, you're already at the 9 million mark. So get ready. Your revenue is already near 100,000. Or maybe later when the requirements change in Malaysia, it's at 1 million, you're already near 1 million. So don't wait for you to cross,
Meaning you really at the line of being audited lah. That's when the trigger is
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't wait until you cross. Before that, get ready lah. Right? Before you want to add any foreign shareholders or investors into the company, I think it's good if you actually prepare your audit as well. Okay, because usually, especially foreign shareholders and investors, they they will be more assuaged, they will be more confident if you can show them audited books, right? If you want to apply for government funding, you see like in Singapore, there's a lot of government grants that you can apply for. So there's many schemes. There's the ESG scheme, there's EDG, then there's so many MRA grant. You can go overseas. The government will pay for a lot of things, So there's a lot of grants. In Malaysia, there's also grants which are given out by SME Corp, right? SME Corporation, right? So you can get special loans, you can get discounted loans, you can get convertible into grants. So there's so many things that you can get also in Malaysia, right? So before you do these things, or when you want to apply for these things, it's good to have your audited accounts ready. So just be wary of this lah. You don't just shoot and apply for everything, but then your books are not in order, right? At the same time, if you have multiple companies, say you have 4 companies, and then you want to restructure everything and put them all together under one HQ or one holding company, things like that. These things will require an audit as well. Okay.
Meaning
Group
a group
structure.
of company,
Yes.
parent company, subsidiary, is it?
Correct.
Okay.
Very good, Mara. Yes. Yeah. Kan? And then sometimes this is the most typical one lah. Every time you want to apply for a business loan, banks will usually ask for the audited accounts as well. So make sure these are available lah. And the key thing again to impress upon all of you watching today, it's not just about getting it audited. The audit opinion matters a lot. So it must be a clean report. But you cannot force your auditor to give you a clean report, okay?
Yeah, cannot lah.
Even you pay them a lot, so you cannot force them. Okay, it's their right, their independent right to give you their best opinion. So it's the onus is on you to keep proper books, to get your accounts right, to make sure that everything is done properly. You have a proper accountant as well to make sure everything is covered properly, to be done properly, so that an auditor can express a good opinion. Yeah.
It's best to really start clean from the start. Just because starting clean from the start, you don't have to worry.
Cuma, okay, that's true. But in real life, nobody starts clean from the start.
Oh, okay.
There's always some element of, when you're starting out, it's difficult, you don't have enough funds, you want to hire an accountant, so it's expensive, or whatever it is. You cannot do everything. Certain receipts go missing or whatever nonsense. Things happen. Everybody goes through this, But the point is, maybe set yourself long, maybe first 2 years. That's the kind of things we all go through. After the 2 years, then make sure we keep everything in order, Like we start getting things done proper, Yeah.
So that you don't get stressed out. Like, if you do things annually, say,
Yes.
you have to compile everything.
Too many
annually.
things to be done. Yes, we forget because we are humans. We will all forget.
Can. Yeah, so these are the triggers that you shared apart from the requirement earlier, which is, I believe it's helpful lah, because companies can make themselves ready to be audited before the audit actually comes to you lah. Okay, so as an accountant yourself, you've been in the industry for 20 years. You've seen a lot of accounts and businesses with accounts, So what are the key advices that you would like to give to our viewers out there onto this topic on audit?
Okay. I think as an accountant, the advice I can give business owners out there is this lah. Number one, start with the compliance part lah. Okay, know the end game. If you're not exempted, it has to be done. Whether is it with audit exemptions or without, whatever it is, financial statements are required. This one, there's no 2 ways around it lah. And if an audit is required, you're not exempted. It has to be done. It has to be done. There's no work around. So we have to just be prepared that we want a good outcome. That's the best. Right? Okay. So number 2, I would say don't wait till last minute. When you know that your company is going to cross over the threshold, revenue threshold or asset value threshold or number of employees in Singapore, or whatever the threshold may be in Malaysia, get things done right in advance. If you don't have proper systems, invest in one. Use, like for example, what we use, Xero. I think it's good. You can work together with the right accountants and the right auditors to make sure things are done properly. Number 3, keep your books clean. all year round.
and tidy.
Yeah, and tidy. So think of it this way lah. Even if you don't need an audit to be done now, think of it in such a way that one day you will be so big that you need it to be audited compulsorily. Or one day, even if you're not compulsory audited, you may still want an audit because you want to go for government grants or something like that. So think of it in that positive manner, right? So because of that, plan for things to be done good and well from today lah, from the start, right? Next, I would say number 4, you should have a proper accountant from a reputable firm or something, right? Get a proper accountant lah. So use this accountant as someone who doesn't just crunch your numbers, but can help you make better financial decisions. So you've heard of this thing called CFO, right?
Yeah.
What do you call this?
Chief-
Chief Finance Officer, right? So for us to actually, as an SME or business owner, to hire a CFO is going to be very expensive, right? In Singapore, what, $15,000, $20,000 a month?
Expensive.
In Malaysia, I think what, 30,000, 40,000 ringgit a month. So it's going to be very expensive. We can't afford, right? So, but if we actually hire a good accountant to manage our monthly accounting or something, right? Set aside some time to go through with them, make better decisions through their advice. You know, of course, pay for it, but at least you'll be paying for a fraction of the cost, lah.
And also you understand your number
Yes.
by having that session.
Yes, definitely. Right. So their insights will be very valuable. They will tell you, look, Myra, for you to grow the business, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that. Because the numbers tell a story, right? So last but not least, whether is it, you know, for audit or tax or bookkeeping, make sure that your internal finance team are able to work with the right people. So the accountant that you work with, make sure the accountant that you work with is someone who your finance team is happy to work with. The auditor that you hire, make sure your finance team also happy to work with them. So don't just get an accountant who's your friend or your cousin or something, no? Because they may be okay with you, but then again, working with your team might be a different story. So this kind of dynamics is also important.
I see.
Yeah.
Can. Alright, so yeah, you have shared at the first part where there is a difference between accountant and auditor, and then there are requirements of when company needs to be audited, the triggers, and also other things lah that business owners should know to ready themselves on audit punya phase lah. Like, from what I understand, a business needs a good accountant, but an auditor is like an add-ons that can sort of verify whatever they have in their business is true and with clarity lah. Sort of easy to say. Yeah, I think both comes hand in hand when the time comes for companies need to be audited lah. Can. Right. So from what you've shared earlier, I am sure you have heard or probably encountered real life experience that can relate to our topics today on accounting and auditing. So are there any specific story that you would like to share just for us to benefit from lah?
Sure.
Yeah.
Can. Okay, cerita yang best je lah.
Boleh je. Boleh.
Okay, set. Can. So I'll tell you this one story. This is not a horror story pun. Okay. So it's actually I would say it's a story which is relatable and is quite inspiring lah. Okay. So long ago, I think more than 10 years ago lah, we have this one client. They were doing insurance. Okay. They were doing insurance and they were also doing investment products lah. Investment products. So they are a financial advisory company, which is independent lah. So they carry different brands. So you can work with them with many different products, not just tied to a certain financial institution lah. So that's the nice thing about them lah. They carry many different products. So this client of mine, their business is required to be audited. It's legally required to be audited because they are operating in the financial industry. Okay, so it doesn't matter what is the revenue, doesn't matter anything. Whatever it is, every year must be audited lah. Okay, so for this client, right, we have been auditing them, And of course, maybe certain years there's a bit of challenge because of like they have capital requirements. The capital must be a certain amount and all that lah. But so far they've been okay. So what happened was one fine day, the boss called me. We went out for lunch together, and then he told me, "Look, Mohammed, I have a party from UK. This one guy from UK who wants to meet me, and he has already discussed with me a little bit via email. He already come down to Singapore. I'm seeing him tonight. He wants to buy over my company."
Okay.
So I was like, wow, amazing, man. So looking at that, so he asked me, so come, let's look at the numbers. You give me an indication how much, that kind of things lah. So yeah, I try to help him out as much as I can. But of course, the right way to do it is to look for a chartered valuer lah, if possible. The chartered valuer, I'm a chartered accountant in Singapore and in Malaysia, but I'm not a chartered valuer. A valuer can look through your numbers and value your business lah. So in this case, I just try to help him a little bit. Ultimately, he went through a 3 months due diligence audit by the UK company, because the UK company is a very big financial products company, very big company. So they're trying to expand into Singapore. So they want to buy over his company. So 3 months of due diligence, meaning
A long time.
so they appoint a very big accounting firm. That firm deal with us to ask us many questions lah, like who the shareholders are, can you give us the information on them, tell us about the business, a wide range of topics lah. It took us a long time to do also, and it was a expensive investment for them as well lah. But it's good because through the due diligence was completed, and because this client of ours is compulsory audited every year, right?
Okay.
So the numbers are all there. It's all available, right? So within like 4 months or 5 months, they already made an offer. So I think easily 7-8 digits.
7, 8, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, it should be in the 8 digits. Yeah, 8 digits. It's still millions, but double-digit millions.
That's why.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? Not? Amazing, right?
Amazing.
So he cashed out. He sold the whole thing, made his money, and yeah, everything was good lah. We still knew of the business of the company because later on when we shifted office, we realized that the new owners, the same business, same company, but under the new owners lah, the UK company on it, they were operating quite nearby to us. So yeah, they were like almost neighbors lah. They were operating nearby to us, so we knew they were still in business and everything lah. So they did very well lah. So I guess as a business owner, if you aspire to actually keep your business over the long term and or be able to actually sell it one day, do know that getting your books done properly is very important, and being able to get it audited and pass audit also is very, very important as well, right? Because the value is there.
Betul.
And the numbers are really reliable, right? So the parties who are interested, they'll be able to actually offer you a better outcome lah, inshallah. Yeah.
The 8 digit is in pound,
No, it's in Singapore dollars.
but still
It's a lot.
still a lot lah.
Yeah.
Wow. So inspiring. Yeah, I think that sets as an inspiration for companies to be audited. Like, I think the skeptical thing about being audited is like, it's something scary lah. Most
I think maybe because not ready lah.
yes, betul. And being audited is always associated with a scary thing lah. But on the bright side, it's actually something that you can benefit from just from the story that you shared lah. It sets like a good expectation to the outsider of how your business is doing, and there's nothing to worry about. Like, outside party don't need to think twice about dealing with you or doing business with you lah if you are audited. Can?
I can share with you one story nak?
Oh, boleh?
Okay. Quick one. We have one client in Malaysia a long time ago. This client came to us because he wants to buy a house.
Okay.
So he's married and his wife is also helping in the business. They're doing specialized parts for cars lah, like car modification parts, racing parts, all these kind of things lah. So an existing client recommended them to us. So this guy, very nice guy, he told me his problem is, Cik Faz, my problem is very simple. I have been renting a house with my wife and my kids for 20 plus years. I can buy a nice car. I can buy a Toyota Alphard, for example, but I cannot buy a home. So what's the problem? The problem is all his numbers are in very bad order. And he's not running Sendirian Berhad. He's actually running a sole proprietorship business. So, of course, no need to audit lah, right? But because the books are not done properly, accounting pun not done, tak pernah submit income tax, never get income tax submitted, everything not done lah. So, when you are in this stage and you don't have a proper salary income, for example, how do you prove your financial worthiness, right? So that's what he went through lah. So Alhamdulillah, after 2-3 years, we settled his accounts and all that. He bought a house. So
The loan went through.
The bank gave him a loan. Yeah, and after that, subsequently, we asked him to change to private to Sendirian Berhad as well. Yeah, and then restructure a little bit to get the best tax outcomes for him lah. Yeah.
That's a good story as well.
Yep. But the initial part is scary lah. Can you imagine 20 years?
Yeah.
Cannot buy house.
20 years of renting.
Yes.
The business ran for how many years already?
I think many years lah.
Many
Cuma
years.
The point is, he couldn't, for 20 years, being married, cannot buy a house. No, it's a long time lah.
Faham.
Yeah.
But it ends with a good ending ah.
Yes.
That's where audit help business owners lah. Another example.
Yeah.
Can. So I think I've gained a lot today, Mr. Faz. Really opens another perspective of audit to me. Even I though I'm not a business owner, but I learned something today lah, which is I can help if any clients come and I can help them clarify better of this audit thing lah. Can. Right.
Cool.
Thank you for today, Mr. Faz.
Most welcome.
I'll see you in our next session lah.
See you soon. No worries.
Okay.
Thanks.
In the next episode, we'll explore another exciting topic. I feel burnt out running my business. What should I do? See you next time. Bye.